Cheyenne FM and streaming live on the First Federal Facebook page.
Yes, indeed, it is Friday morning. It's a little cloudy, but 59 degrees here in downtown Rochester. We're joined now by Todd Van Sickle for the First Federal program. Good morning.
Thank you, Paul. Good morning to you, too. It's always a beautiful morning, though.
Yes,
Even if it's cloudy, it's, a cooler weekend.
Yes, I'm a big fan of fall weather, so.
And all the fall events are going to happen.
Yeah.
That are happening now. We're going to talk about a few of those. It's that time of year.
It is indeed that time of year.
We will welcome Melinda Clinger from the Fulton County Historical Society today. Melinda will be providing information about the next weekend's Trail of Courage Living History Festival on Saturday the 16th and Sunday the 17th. And we'll talk to Melinda a little bit at the end of the show and get some great information about a fantastic event that's happening next weekend.
All right, sounds good.
Today is our Elkhart Community Appreciation Day for the bank. So if you're in the neighborhood up there, stop by from 11 to 2, Come enjoy lunch from the Real Grill food truck. There'll be shred bins. And also we have giveaways, and we're giving away Blackstone flat top gas grills at our community appreciation event. So if you're in the neighborhood or Elkhart, stop by. You're always welcome. We really appreciate our communities that we're in and our customers, and this is a small little way to say thank you.
Yes.
You can tell it's fall because the Optimist Club Pumpkin Patch opens this weekend.
Yes, it does. I'm excited for that. It's always nice when you can get things from the Optimist Club and it's all local and it benefits good things.
Yeah, they do a great job out there with that, and all the volunteers that help out with that, and they give back to the community. For the organizations that volunteer, they contribute to those organizations, and all those dollars just flow directly back in the community. And it's a big task putting together that pumpkin patch.
It is.
Lots of mums out there, pumpkins, gourds of any style. It's amazing. Just didn't really know there's that many pumpkins out there, but I think opening day is today. If not today, it's tomorrow. Do you know for sure, Paul? Or?
I think the stand opens today.
Okay, great. So stop by because mums always go quick out there, it seems.
Yes, they do.
And there's all kinds of pumpkins, so go out there and visit that. It's a great family trip sometimes, too. And you're staying local, like you said.
Yeah.
Well, the Trail of Courage Living History Festival is our topic of discussion with our guest Melinda Clinger later in this show. Going to have a trivia question related to that.
Okay.
And we may have used this before, so I don't remember. But in what year did the Trail of Courage Living History Festival begin? 1966, 1976, 1986, or 1996?
Okay.
So Paul's wheels are turning, I see. He's thinking about when he went out there first time as part of the school program, trying to remember what year that was, and was it new or old then? So
Yeah, I'm mainly trying to do math. I'm not the best at math. I just work in radio, so I don't need to add and subtract things sometimes. So that's what I'm trying to do now.
Tanner Lee stepped up to the mic now, and we're banker, so we can help you with the math.
A little bit.
Yeah, maybe.
Welcome, Tanner.
Good morning. Got a lot going on in the sports world. Like you said, it's fall.
Yeah.
Football weather's in there. A lot of football matchups going on tonight, tomorrow, Sunday, now that the NFL has started. It's last night.
So is there a day of the week that somebody's not playing anymore? I don't know.
Tuesday and Wednesday.
Maybe,
Maybe,
yeah.
I was gonna say.
Those are the JV games are probably.
There might be even more. But plenty of conference matchups going on tonight around the area. Rochester, with their 2-1 record, is hosting Manchester Squires tonight, who are also 2-1. So that's the Three Rivers Conference matchup. Pre-game, same time as always, 6:40-ish.
Probably a little closer to 6:30 tonight.
Okay, a little earlier. All right, good deal. New Valley still undefeated on the season. They're 3-0. They're hosting Tipton tonight, who is 1-2. Casson Comets are looking for their first win of the season as they host the 2-1 Pioneer Panthers. Culver's also looking for their first win of the season. They travel to West Central tonight, who is 3-0. And Winmac is looking for their first win of the season as they travel to Lavelle, who is 3-0. So,
Okay.
a lot of big-time matchups tonight.
Yeah.
And, should be a great night for football.
Yes, it should.
College football. First, I want to apologize to all the Ball State fans out there. Last week I said they played at Georgia. I was a week ahead. They play at Georgia. This weekend they played at Kentucky. Last
Good.
weekend.
They're not playing them twice. Then.
They're not playing them twice. They are getting paid $1.6 million.
That probably helps fund the program quite a bit. So
Yeah,
I can
so
understand why they do that.
it might be worth tomorrow's, let's say, experience they'll go through against the back-to-back national champions.
Did you happen to check the line on that at all?
I thought it was around 40 last time I saw it.
That's a big one.
Yeah, it was a big one. One to where it would be tough to cover because usually if an opponent gets that big a lead, they're going to probably pull their starters. But we saw some big-time blowout. I know Oklahoma beat somebody last week 77-0. So it does happen occasionally, but more times than not.
They need a better scheduling than that.
Yeah. The other three big schools within the state all are in action this weekend. Notre Dame, who is now ranked 10th in the rankings, they're 2-0. They travel for their first road game of the year. Well, they went to Dublin, I guess, week one. That was a neutral game.
Nobody qualifies that as either home or away.
But they have an actual true road game this weekend, tomorrow at noon on ABC as they travel to NC State, who is 1-0. Notre Dame is a 7.5-point favorite.
Okay.
Purdue, who lost their first game of the season last week against Fresno State, looks to get in the win column. They travel to Virginia Tech, who is 1-0. That game's also at noon tomorrow on ESPN2. Virginia Tech's 1-0, so that'll be Purdue's lone game on ESPN this year since the Big Ten ESPN don't have an agreement anymore.
That's right.
So Big Ten teams will only be on ESPN going forward if it's a road game or a tournament game, so more so for basketball. And then Indiana is looking to get in the win column tonight. A little Friday night light action. They host the Indiana State Sycamores, who are 0-1, and I believe got shut out last week. That game's at 7 o'clock on the Big Ten Network.
I know Tom Allen's kind of saying this isn't right. They're playing on a Friday night, which I kind of agree with.
I agree with that too.
It's high school football.
Exactly. I've heard a lot of coaches come out, and unfortunately, more and more games are getting. I think Illinois and Kansas played tonight as well against each other. It's all about TV money. The TV stations love these Friday night games, but it's hard not only for the players and coaches, but the fans as well to get there. It's easier on a Saturday than a Friday.
That's true. Yeah,
So,
it takes up. I mean, if you're going down to Bloomington tonight, I mean, you probably have to take the afternoon off.
Exactly. Exactly.
Not that I'm doing that or anything. We got a United Way event tomorrow. So
Okay.
yeah.
Yes. Which we're looking forward to that event tomorrow. And then the NFL season, like I said, started off last night with an upset. I will say, Detroit Lions went into Arrowhead Stadium, defeated the defending world champion Kansas City Chiefs by a score of 21-20. So exciting game.
I watched that for a little bit in the third and fourth quarter, and to be honest, I became a little bit troubled because of how Kansas City is playing with the rules with the offensive line.
Yep.
They've got too many people in the backfield.
Yes, they do. I agree with you 100%. And
That needs to be fixed.
And finally, towards the end of the game, the lineman who was in a position you don't normally see got called for a false start finally. And yeah, so maybe we'll see if they keep doing that going forward.
You have to have 7 people on the line.
Right.
That's always been the rule.
Yeah, and it's Andy Reid's always. I'm not calling him a rule bender by any means, but he's always looking for a little strategy that nobody else uses. So.
Yeah.
It's probably a little bit too much in the weeds for everybody.
Probably,
right there,
but it's a good point to bring up. In Kansas City, as much as I don't like them, I did feel like their wide receiver just could have caught a ball or two last night. They probably win that game. They had a lot of drops, but they'll be just fine, I'm sure. Two local teams in action this weekend. The Colts open at home this Sunday, hosting division rival Jacksonville Jaguars, who are defending AFC South champs. Jaguars are 4.5-point favorites. That game's at 1 o'clock on CBS, but it's also right here on WROI.
Yes, it is. Noon pregame coverage and kickoff's 1 o'clock. So.
Yeah.
So when you're out enjoying the fall weather, going to the pumpkin patch, listen to it on Giant FM.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yep.
the way to do it.
Yep. Or if you even watch it on TV, mute the TV and sync up the audio.
Yes.
I like to do that time to time, get some biased commentators of the teams I like. So
You might need to teach me how to do that because I need it. That's pretty hard to do to sync up in there.
it can be. It can be pretty challenging.
We'll make that a show
yeah,
sometime.
Yeah. And then the Chicago Bears open up the year with their game against their big arch rival, the Green Bay Packers. They're hosting them at home. 4:25 on Fox on Sunday. Bears are 1-point favorites.
Okay.
No Aaron Rodgers this
No.
year. It's the Jordan Love led Green Bay Packers. So.
Well, I noticed Aaron Rodgers said he still owns the Bears.
Oh, he'll always say that.
Yeah.
I mean, just to get under Bear fans' skin. So. And one last note on NFL World: Joe Burrow, quarterback of the Cincinnati Bengals. He and the Bengals agreed to an NFL record 5-year, $275 million contract extension with $219 million of that guaranteed.
Wow.
It's about $50 million a year.
Yeah, that's big time. And with a guy who's had a few injury issues throughout his career, but when he's healthy,
And
he is
$200 million guaranteed. Is that what you said?
$219 million of a $275 guaranteed, which is pretty mind blowing. But that's the way sports contracts are going anymore, and there's nothing any of us in this room can do about it. So.
It's all TV money.
It was all TV money.
Yeah.
Got some tidbits here this morning for you, Paul. On this day in 1504, Michelangelo's statue of David was unveiled in Florence.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. On this day in 1960, the movie Psycho was released nationwide in the U.S. You seen the original?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's always listed in this top 10 or top 100 movies of all time.
Yes.
Yeah. And I cannot think of her name now to save my life, but the main actress said for the longest time she was scared to take a shower.
Yeah,
Just as being an actress, and she knew it was a movie. And
Yeah.
it still,
Yeah.
it was that good that it still caused her some trauma.
For those trivia buffs, the blood going down the drain in the shower, do you know what it was?
I do not.
Hershey's chocolate syrup.
Interesting.
Oh, okay.
It's black and white, so it
Yeah.
looked like blood.
Good tidbit there from Todd this morning.
Yeah.
On this day, 1966, Star Trek premiered on NBC.
Gotta love Star Trek.
Those are the classics. I mean,
Yes.
even if you don't like space or science fiction, those were kind of groundbreaking movies
Yeah.
at the time.
Yeah,
Not movies,
ahead
shows.
of its time. Really.
Yes. Yes.
And on this day in 1986, the Oprah Winfrey Show was first broadcast nationally.
Oh, wow.
Had a very good run, and now she doesn't do the show anymore, but she's got her own network and
Yeah.
many other things.
Those are three really big tidbits.
Yeah.
Psycho, the Star Trek, and Oprah
Yeah, pretty
Winfrey.
loaded this
Yeah.
morning.
They're pop culture things right there.
Yeah. And we got some days, of course, today. Today's International Literacy Day. It's also Actors Day. Stand Up to Cancer Day, which is always a good one. National Iguana Awareness Day. We don't really have to worry about that up here, but
No, but down in Florida, when it gets cold, they start dropping
yeah,
trees
you
at
might
you.
want to watch.
Either of you have a pet iguana?
No.
I can't say I have.
Neither do
I.
Maybe Melinda does. No, shake your head now.
It's a World Physical Therapy Day, Pardon Day, and Star Trek Day.
Of course, Star Trek.
Yep.
Day.
Yeah. Can't go wrong with Star Trek Day.
So I've added some upcoming events here, Tanner.
Okay.
I mentioned the United Way event tomorrow, trivia at the Moose Lodge. For those participating, we have 11 teams this year. Doors open at 5:15 and trivia starts at 6. Unfortunately, it's late. We can't add any new teams, but we hope to make this an annual event at the United Way. And if you're interested in getting a team next year, let me know and we'll put you on the waiting list for that.
It's going to be a fun event.
And then also, this is the last chance to enter for the United Way Green Egg Raffle. It's on display at Smith Farm stores. Tickets are $10 and may be purchased today or by contacting me. We want to thank Dan Copley at Smith Farm Stores for the grill donation. He's done a great job out there. He's always very friendly and helpful. So even if you're not going out to buy the raffle tickets, visit the store and pick up something there. It's very community-minded. Money news. We'll just spend a minute or two on that.
All right.
Dow Jones entered at 34,500 point something. It's doing what it does, up and down, and big business news this week is Apple's having their annual meeting on the 12th. When the iPhone 15 comes out, you can expect to pay $100 more,
Of course.
Well, of course.
which I think puts a
Oh.
1,000 or more.
Yeah,
for a phone.
yeah. Even prices are going up.
And even some of the maxes on the 13 and 14s were over
Yeah.
$1,000. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Apple keeps going along. The big change this year, which is I think it's a good change, is they're going away from the Lightning connector to USB-Cs, and that was kind of European case that
Yeah.
got one, and they're kind of playing with everybody else now because everybody has those cables.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
They're tired of being
You're
the
always
ones with
losing
the
your
different
lightning
one.
cable, right?
Yeah. Always.
So that's the business news. First Federal Savings Bank is open today from 8:30 to 5. Tomorrow 8:30 to noon. We currently have a 10-month special CD, 5.10 APY. It's a great opportunity to take those extra funds and invest and earn more interest. One of the higher rates in the market. We offer Simply Free checking accounts and Simply Free business checking accounts. When you open a new checking account, you get the free gift. It's an ironwork lantern with fan. Kind of a good late summer thing if you're camping, or multi-purpose tool there, really, a light and a fan.
Yeah, it's good to always have a fan for hot weather and camping, and the light camping also just have around the house if the power goes out.
Yeah, and it's a very bright light.
It is very bright.
I know we mention those two checking accounts every single show we have, but they are kind of unique anymore because you don't get free checking accounts at banks pretty much anymore.
No.
There's always some fine print rules, and these have no fine print rules. So if you're interested, stop by and see us. We want to get to Melinda, so we're going to cut the bank news short a little bit here, just to let everybody know that we're the only locally owned bank in Fulton County. We don't want to be the biggest bank, just the best. Borrowers must meet underwriting guidelines. We're FDIC insured and equal housing lender, and our MLS number is 399927.
And that makes us legal.
I've gotten better at that, you know.
Yeah.
I think you taught me your tricks.
Oh, yeah.
Tap your fingers when you say the numbers. So moving on to Melinda Clinger. Welcome, Melinda. We're glad you're here today.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Busy time of year for you.
Always.
Well, you're busy all the time, though.
There's a lot of times we are, yes.
Got a gun show out at the Historical Society tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow.
But plans are in full force for the Trail of Courage Living History Festival next Saturday and Sunday. And that's from, what are the hours of those?
On Saturday the 16th it'll be 10 to 6, and on Sunday 10 to 4. And we're open that entire time. Our admissions this year is $10 for adults and $5 for kids. There is opportunities for you to come out and help us get ready for the festival, and you can earn a free admission ticket.
That's awesome. So you always need volunteers.
Always need volunteers.
Set up and during the programs even
Yes.
too.
Yes. So tomorrow morning there will be a crew back at the woods, and we still have firewood to do and picking up sticks and doing all kinds of things. So if you have time, come out. You, based on a 4-hour time period, come out and help us, and you can get a ticket to get in for the next weekend.
That's a great deal. So if you're interested, just show up basically.
Yes, basically show up. Yes.
Okay, that's good. And getting ready for today's radio show, I mean, Historical Society has a great website. There's so much information on there about the Trail of Courage Living History Festival. It has a great history, and I kind of learned by reading that really the foundation of the Historical Society kind of started from the Trail of Courage Living History Festival. That provided the funds for you to acquire the ground you're in.
Right. Yeah. When we started the festival itself, it helped to support us. And in 1985, we purchased the property that we have now, and have added to that ever since. But when we originally started in 1963, the courthouse was throwing history books out into the landfill, and people got upset. And so they started gathering them up, and we started out as a museum in 1963. So we're 60 years old this year.
That would give you all kinds of mixed clues about what the Trail of Courage Living History started. So
That's okay.
you've got a clue somewhere in there.
Yeah.
So there's so much going on out there. There's 2 stages, there's field events, there's other things going on. Why don't you talk a little bit about all the activities out there?
Okay. On Friday, we have school day for the kids. They come in, and we have different participants who demonstrate some kind of historic art to them, and they get to have fun and learn more about Indiana history. And then on Saturday morning, we'll have opening ceremony at 10 a.m., and we'll have several people from the Potawatomi Citizen Band Potawatomi coming this year to help to retrace the actual Trail of Death, which was the removal of the Potawatomi in 1838.
Because you have an honor ceremony for that.
Yes,
basically.
yes.
You honor a family typically.
Yes, normally. This year we'll do everybody because of them coming back for the festival. And then we have fife and drum corps. We have bagpipers. There's a gentleman who does Dana Boone. We have Paul Mitchell from Culver that does different music. Mark and Liza Wolver. So there's several different ones that have come every year that we try to get back, and every once in a while we get somebody new at it.
So the school event starting on Friday the 15th, that's a big thing, isn't it?
Yes.
Approximately how many students do you expect?
This year I'm not sure exactly what our numbers are, but I know in the past we've had anywhere from like 800 to 1,500 kids in the day.
It's a lot of kids.
Yes.
And they
so
come
when
from all over northern Indiana,
Yes.
Rochester schools and other schools.
Yes. And when they do come in, like I said, they go back in groups, and each they have several different places that they can stop that somebody's going to be talking to them. And so I know different ones are going to do, like there's a gentleman that does a naturalist thing, and so he teaches them different things about nature, and blacksmiths will be there, and there's different ones that
I know as we've talked in previous years, the participants in the Trail of Courage Living History Festival have a great passion about what they do, be it candle making, blacksmithing, and they get very excited about having a chance to teach the kids about some Indiana or living history.
Mm-hmm. The biggest thing the kids love on Friday, they have a mountaineering tug of war, and so they all get a ticket when they come in to be able to go through and do the tug of war. And so that's why they have the ticket, so that everybody gets a chance. Otherwise, you have 5 or 6 of them up there constantly, and nobody else would get time. But anyway, we've done that for 20-some years, I think now, doing the school day.
We're just making this really hard on you. We're just throwing all kinds of years and numbers. One of these may be right, actually.
Yeah.
So anyway, and then back to the schedule on Saturday and Sunday both from 2 to 3, we have our Indian dances. And our local head dancers this year are Jeremy and Jacayla Fluke, who are local. Their family's been involved with the festival since the very beginning. And so that'll be an interesting time. Both of them are young, in their 20s. So it gets a nice feeling for local people to still be involved.
Yeah, and young people too. 'Cause that's really what's needed to keep the Historical Society moving forward, and the Trail of Courage Living History Festival. They need young people to help out, be volunteers, to get into some leadership roles eventually. I mean, you're always looking for board members
Yes.
and active volunteers. So if you're interested in anything about history, come out and visit the Trail of Courage and Living History Festival and get more involved with helping the Historical Society out, because this draws in a lot of people to Fulton County.
Yes.
I mean, the numbers have fluctuated over the years, but
Yeah, anywhere from
10 plus
13 days.
thousand, up to 20,000, which is great for our community.
Yes, yes.
So
And if you don't get to the festival and want to come and volunteer in other times, the museum's open 6 days a week, 9 to 5, Monday through Saturday, and we're always looking for people to help in some capacity.
And so, if you want to learn more, go to the website. The website is, let me see, I had it here.
FultonCountyHistory.org.
.org. And there's so much information about the Trail of Courage Living History Festival on there that it's great reading, actually. There's several history articles.
And we've also got pages on Facebook for the Fulton County Historical Society and one for the Trail of Courage itself. So, it gets updated quite often. And, of course, if you're hungry this next weekend, we always have all of our favorite foods. We'll have apple dumplings back again this year in the potato chip booth. There'll be Indian fry bread, turkey and noodles. The Rotary will have pork chops, sweet corn from the Knights of Columbus. So a lot of local booths.
Great.
And the money going back into the community as well.
And one of the things I read while preparing for the show, that even the drinks are restoring typically.
Yes.
Cider, coffee, sassafras tea, iced tea, homemade root beer, and other things. So it's a great opportunity to just go out and eat if you want to while you're walking around looking at all the...
We have some people who pay admission and go like to the apple dumpling booth, or they used to go to the chicken noodle booth, and that was all they do. They get their food and then they go back out the gate. That was what they were there for, which is great because they supported both organizations and got there for the festival.
Yeah, it starts with a breakfast actually.
Yes.
on the
Both mornings, the
Yeah.
breakfast, the Five Friends booth will have the biscuits and gravy, apple sausage, biscuits and gravy, and then the Masons will have pancakes and sausage. So.
Then also, while you're out there after you have breakfast, there's 2 stages going on pretty much all day. Got the Chipaway Village stage and the Hillside Amphitheater.
Mm-hmm.
And looking at the schedule, there's something going on pretty much every hour through the whole day. Yeah.
Try to keep it busy, and then other activities going on besides. There's a gentleman that brings a big cannon and does cannon demonstrations, and then, like I said, the Indian dances are in a different area, and so there's always something going on. So if you get bored, you know what to say.
So you've been involved with it forever, basically, for a long time.
Well, when I started in 1981, from 1981 on, I was actually involved with the festival.
So what's your favorite part of the festival?
I think, getting to know the people and getting the history out there. It wasn't always taught in 4th grade history that Indiana had, Potawatomi from this area that were actually removed. So by us doing this festival, we're trying to get that information out. Now it is finally in some of the history books for the kids, but for the longest time that was not.
So we're taking a tragic history event and not trying to sugarcoat it or go over it, but it is part of our history.
Right.
And then
we try to commemorate the time when they were here before the removal.
And you've got very passionate participants too. You've had some people coming,
At the very beginning,
all at the beginning, and I've known some people who have done this before, and they have a great passion about, their trade, for example, and just wanting to educate the school program people and then all the visitors that come out.
Yes. So that's what we're here for, to get the history across, and we have other opportunities in the area too, not just the big festivals, but we have smaller things, and our rooms are constantly in use at the museum too. We are working on several different projects at the museum, and one of the projects, as several of you will remember, the Santa Claus from out on the Torch Building was donated to the museum, and the last couple of years the Tractor Club has come out and helped put him out so that people could see him at Christmas time. Well, our plan is to build him a permanent building and have that done hopefully before Christmas, is the plan. So we're going to be seeking donations and grants to help get the building up and get Santa in there. Paul Shanklin from Wilson's is actually repainting Santa. He needs a little repair, and he was originally up there from 1955, I believe, on that building, and so he's lasted a long time, and it's a good history thing for us to keep for the community. So if you'd like to help support that, contact us there at the museum, and we're always looking for donations to help with that too.
That's great. That's going to be another draw of the museum, because it's never too early for Christmas, right, Paul?
Yeah.
And if people can see Santa out there, I know my kids driving by, when they were younger, they'd want us to stop and say, hey, there's Santa there, let's go see,
They're planning on having doors that will slide up, and then you can go out and do photo opportunities or whatever in front of Santa too. So.
Well, that's kind of all about what the Historical Society does. It just takes our history and tries to make it memorable and opportunities for kids to experience. And that's what the Trail of Courage Living History Festival is all about. We've been talking with Melinda Clinger from the Historical Society. Now, you're executive director, or
the museum director.
Museum director, and she knows all about the Historical Society grounds and everything. So, if you are free next weekend, or even if you're not free, take some time out. You've got next Saturday and Sunday to go out and visit the Historical Society grounds. Those events are going on Saturday from 10 to 6 and Sunday 10 to 4. All kinds of food items out there. Ticket prices are $10 for adults, $5 for children. Free for kids 5 and under. A lot going on. Pretty much something for everybody, I guess. All
ages, yes.
All ages. And anything you'd like to wrap up with today?
Just to emphasize that, if you do have time and want to come out and volunteer, you can earn free admission. And if you got a big family, sometimes that, it hurts on the pocket, but, it's there to help preserve the history of the Fulton County, and that's why we actually do the festival. We always invite people to come and help us.
That's a great deal. Go out and volunteer, pick up some sticks, move some things around, and get into the festival for free.
Yes.
Well, thank you, Melinda. We wish you the best for your festival next weekend. Paul, as usual, is going to arrange good weather like he usually does.
I'm trying.
So moving on to the trivia question. We mentioned 1985, 1963. None of the years were mentioned here.
No.
So in what year did the Trail of Courage Living History Festival begin? Interestingly enough, it was begun by an Eagle Scout for his kind of Eagle Scout award, and kind of carried on from that. 1966, 1976, 1986, or 1996?
Well, I had to do the math because I knew it was the 47th annual.
Okay.
So that would be 76.
Great answer. So how do you know this is the 47th? Just from the publicity?
Yes. Melinda does some advertising with us here, and I might have been the one who recorded that ad that said 47th
That's
annual.
okay.
So, yeah, I had to do the math real quick because you said it, and I went, oh, no, 80 wouldn't be right because you got to subtract better. So, yeah, I had to think, but yeah, 76.
That's great. Almost 50 years of history of this event, and it's a great event for our county, and thank you, Melinda, for all you do. We'll close today with words of wisdom from Confucius. Our greatest glory is not in never failing, but in rising every time we fall.
I like those words of wisdom. All right, Todd, thank you so much for coming in today and hosting. And Melinda, thank you for being here. We'll see you guys again next week.
Have a great week, everyone.